We're out here this morning, about to drop the boat in. It's starting to blow already a little bit, so we'll see what happens. But the lake that's connected to this, the bite was on yesterday. I caught one almost 9. A guy I know caught one almost 9. He had like 33 pounds. I only had like 28, but it was obviously on. The water's real comparable here. It's a lot like, it's just the same makeup. The fish behave like that much different, but in the end it's very much a comparable situation. They don't school as much, which is the only thing that worries me, but we're gonna see, and it should be nice. And the wind might actually help, since it's gonna be 95 freaking degrees out, so we'll see what happens. Nice 3-pounder. Had to kind of leave it sit on the bottom for a second. That's a good start. That's a nice 4.5, 5-pounder right there. She's barely hooked, and sometimes what you can do is if you turn them around just right, you can get them to hop on the bait. That's probably 4 3/4. You can get them to hop right on the bait, and they'll catch that other hook. That's a big one, boys. I don't know how big, but I haven't had one stop it like that yet. Full drag like that. About that. That's a freaking giant. Oh, it's going for big fish. Oh, we are going to put that girl on the scale. Oh, that's a gambler head with freaking Basstrix Swimbait. Check that joker out. Let's weigh this girl real quick before she gets all dried out and hot. She just took a beating, boy. I knew there were giants out here. I know exactly where that was set up now. $8.13. $8.13. Hope you can see that. That's a freaking giant. $8.13, baby. Let's get her put back. Look at that joker. That is freaking huge. Look at that. So I caught like an almost 9, an 8.13, and I got one about 5, a 3, and some like 2.5, 3-pounders. But the problem I'm having is the fish are kind of schooled, but they're not like crazy schooled up, and they're like spread out. There'll be like a pod here, and then there's a bunch scattered around. So it's kind of hard to pin them down. I got a bait that I'm getting bigger bites from, but with them being so spread out, it's already noon, and you know, that's what I got. I can catch little guys all day long, but really targeting these bigger fish has been a process. It's taken some time today. Well, I'm gonna go scan around and see what I can find, and maybe we can wrap up a bigger bag here. Well, I don't know if this is going to pan out, but I just found dots galore. And dots galore on structure scan mean bass. They're not the biggest dots, but there's a few decent ones mixed in. The hardest part today has been catching them. I see them, but I can't catch them, so we'll see. That's a better one. Oh yeah. How about that, boys? Oh, I didn't have my drag set too well. Oh, no. That is one skinny, long, giant bass. Look at him. Look at that fish. I'm gonna weigh her just real quick, just in case. She ain't that fat, but definitely got the length. Yeah, that's a tricky one.
That fish, if it was fat, it'd be like freaking 8-9 pounds. It's like 6.5, but it's super long. Let's get her back. Well, boys, that was a pretty killer day. I figured out a little thing with swim baits and throwing hollow bodies on a 3/4 ounce. It's basically a gambler swim bait head, but it's got a really beefy hook. But it was all about the cadence. I threw other baits. I caught a few on like 10XDs and that, but really that swim bait and sort of a pulsated retrieve and then dead stopping it and then slacklining it down, pulsated retrieve. Because a lot of those fish were suspended like 6 foot above the bottom, 7 foot, and they'd either eat it as you were pulsating it and it was getting high, or freaking when you stopped it and slacklined it, they'd eat it as that bait went and kind of like shimmied back to the bottom. But that was really the trick. I saw fish that I couldn't catch, and then I'd do that swim bait thing and I'd catch them. I caught some. I could catch a bunch, like doing finesse stuff, throwing wacky rigs and dragging and that. But it seemed like the bigger fish between that 10XD and that swim bait, that's what it was all about. But I didn't really spend too much time dragging big worms and that. I really looked for schools, and there were quite a few pods of fish, which was kind of interesting. But the problem was, like I mentioned before, is there were pods of fish and they'd be spread out. So like you'd find a pod, you'd fish them, you'd catch some, and then you'd see like another like little pack of them and a pack of them, and they weren't really hooked on to anything. They were just kind of roaming around cover. And I mean, I found them off of shell bars like 35-40 yards, and there'd just be a pot of fish, and then they'd move again. And that's really difficult to keep track of them, not to mention the fact that they're kind of suspended too. So they were a little tough to catch, but I got a trophy catch. I got one almost 9 pounds, so that'll be a nice little $100 Bass Pro gift certificate. But it was an awesome day, and I left them biting. I actually could catch a bunch more, but I'm going to wrap it up for the day. I'm going to try a new lake tomorrow and see how things goes. So that's a wrap.